Good morning, Harefield. Excuse me, I was just making my breakfast. I'll eat for a minute. Now, I've been reading a very deep and theological book recently that I'd like to share with you. It's one that I read first many years ago as a child, and I seem to come back to it every couple of decades after, as I see different things in it each time. It's quite a big book, actually. It's Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh is a fantastic book, isn't it? For all ages. The writing's brilliant, the drawings are gorgeous, the pictures of childhood innocence and playtime, the friendships, the characters. It's great, and sometimes you just wish that modern real life was as simple as Winnie the Pooh, don't you? Now, there's one thing that I've got in common with Winnie the Pooh, and no, that's not having very little brain. I also have a little liking for jars of honey. On most mornings for breakfast, on toast, on bread, sometimes for dinner dribbled over chicken. Anyway, I love it, however you eat it. Do you like honey? And which do you prefer? Are you a solid kind of person? Or are you a runny person? Myself, I prefer the solid, but not so hard that you can't spread it over the toast, because that's annoying. And the more expensive honey, the better. But I do recommend that Lidl has a pretty good cheap version at the moment. Now, honey is obviously an ancient food, and it's got some health benefits. And I bet you didn't know that it is mentioned in the Bible 68 times. I didn't know that either, but that's what my Bible app tells me. I'm sorry, I did not read through the Bible with a highlighter, especially for this little talk. Now, a lot of the references for honey in the Bible are around Israel being the land of milk and honey. And that really does sound the kind of land worth walking 40 years for, doesn't it? But there's a few mentions of honey in the book of Proverbs that I'd like to highlight today. Just short snippets of wisdom that might give you something to ponder about as you go around your day-to-day business today. First one is from Proverbs chapter 16, verse 24. Gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. Again, gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. Now, we live in Harlow. Gracious words aren't something that you hear very often as you walk around the town, are they? But this is one way that we can stand out as followers of Jesus. And this verse explains the effect that nice words can have on someone. We all know if we hear a compliment, it can make our day, can't it? So do I use gracious words enough day by day? That's a rhetorical question, don't answer it. Okay, another proverb. Chapter 24, verses 13 to 14. Eat honey, my son, for it is good. Honey from the comb is sweet to your taste. Know also that wisdom is like honey for you. If you find it, there is a future hope for you, and your hope will not be cut off. So God-given wisdom is like honey. Proverbs mentions wisdom a lot, and wisdom isn't something that you hear about much these days, is it? But this verse says that wisdom gives you hope for the future. It is something that we should be asking God for. And I like the first part of that. Eat honey, my son, for it is good. There you go. The Bible tells me I have to eat honey. Give me a big pot of it then. If you find honey, eat just enough. Too much of it and you will vomit. That's chapter 25, verse 16. Okay. I guess that one means that too much of even a good thing can be bad for you. Moderation in all things, as they say. Too much honey is bad for you, and so is trying to win too much praise. Oh no, not another one saying not to eat too much. But yet, that is true. Last little one for today. Chapter 27, verse 7. One who is full loathes honey from the comb, but to the hungry, even what is bitter tastes sweet. Now this last one is quite poignant actually, because there are many people in the world who have nothing to eat, who would be desperate to eat anything. And those of us who live in the top percent of the world's income, we fuss about having the very nicest of food, and we probably throw a lot of it away too. And that's not right, is it? We really shouldn't be so fussy about what we eat when there's people who have nothing. So there's a few little thoughts from Proverbs for the week for you. This really is a great book, full of wisdom, and it really can highlight what life is really like. Proverbs definitely does contain more wisdom even than Winnie the Pooh. So it's worth reading Proverbs more than you read Winnie the Pooh. So thank you for watching. Now I can get on with making my breakfast. Actually, I think I'll have marmalade today. Was that a different bear?